December 6th update. We have to do updates all the time now because the energy keeps changing and so much is happening worldwide and energetically. And I wanted to encourage people to check out some other TikTokers who are getting some of the same information I'm getting, like Dana of Somatic Magic of Money. I'm going to tag it below. And another one called Cara Alethea. They're both getting some really good information about what's going on right now. I was asking my guides for new information, and they're like, yeah, we've given you so much, and you haven't shared it all, so no. The challenge is how to share the information, carefully. So I think I just want to kind of go over some things that I've been told in kind of summary form. One thing I wanted to say is, I was premature the other day in saying, oh no, it was a no-show for the star beings. Because, actually I've now seen lots of reports of lots of visitors. So I guess they weren't a no-show. But I just want to remind people that there are different versions, right? And sometimes we can think of them as, kind of men's stories and women's stories. And so you think of a man's story like the one I was talking about, War of the Worlds. Oh, if they're visiting us, they must be coming here for a battle, right? And that's one interpretation. And then there's like a female interpretation, which we're hearing from all the dreaming women who are saying, no, they're just here to help us. And they're here to upgrade us or send us messages, give us channelings. They're showing up in the skies to make us aware and to kind of raise our consciousness about their existence. So what I saw in the last kind of few days after the 3rd, I saw that there was a withdrawal. And there's been a lot of activity on the 3rd and the 4th, but there's starting to be a withdrawal in terms of the buildup that I had seen of visitors to our planet. So you may recall that I mentioned about 3 weeks ago that there were visitors surrounding the entire planet, and that they were kind of hovering nearby to monitor and oversee and protect us. And so when I went to kind of tune into that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I was shown that the presence is decreased because we don't need it anymore. And this is really good news. Not that they're gone, but that there aren't as many. So it was kind of like this really big meeting of all the adults in the family who were concerned about the children who had run amok. The children being earthlings. And all the parents, extended family came from many, many miles, from many, many places, came together to have this big meeting to discuss what to do and how to help. And all of this is related to our big joust that we had and the outcome and etc. So what we're seeing happening internationally is actually proof that we are progressing. And so they're kind of happy about that we are standing up for ourselves, that we are not allowing ourselves to become victims. Also, we should pay attention to the fact that there are a lot of women in positions of leadership when we're looking at all of these places in the world that are having these electoral issues and protests and government issues. There are a lot of women involved, which makes sense because of the divine feminine. And I want to remind people of one of the things that I was told a long time ago about the timeline. From the very beginning, that very first day, I think it was a Thursday in November 7th, November 8th, something like that. That very first transmission that I shared, they said very clearly that it's going to take some time for the truth to come out, because people need time to evolve. So that's why we have to be patient, because some of us are ready. Some of us are like, we're ready yesterday. We're ready for change. We're ready for an up leveling. We're ready for, you know, Pluto and Aquarius. We're ready for all of that. But there are other people who are not ready. And so, you know, we all have to be ready, or the majority of us have to be ready. So while we're being patient, we also have to accept that we're going to have to go through some things in order to evolve as well. And so I think we're starting to see that internationally, that people are going through some things. But we can clearly see that there's kind of a pattern, right? Certain types of governments are being destabilized, certain trends or movements in a certain direction of authoritarianism are being challenged and interrupted. And this is all in alignment with this track that we're on as a planet to up level. So, reminder, a date that I got for when we're going to see some real change is mid-December. I didn't get a particular date, but mid-December. And I am hearing a lot of my mutuals talking about December 13th. Some people are talking about this weekend, December 6th and 7th, as, us seeing some revelations. But I want people to focus less on a particular outcome on a particular day, and I want people to focus more on noticing the progress, noticing the patterns, and noticing the progress. Because things are not going to happen overnight, but as long as we can see the trend towards progress, we can remain hopeful. So we've got Georgia, South Korea, France, Romania, maybe Syria, United States. Look at the pattern, look at the movement, look at what direction we're heading in general, and that will give you hope. And remember that what the astro girlies are telling us, what the astrologers are telling us about Pluto in Aquarius. And last time we were at Pluto in Aquarius, we had American Revolution, French Revolution, Haitian Revolution, Irish Revolution. Which isn't to say we're going through an actual revolution, but there's something like that happening, right? Some major transformation that involves out with the old, in with the new. And so one thing I've been encouraged to share with everybody is the need for us all to participate in that in our own way. And so if you're somebody, for example, in the United States, and you are aligned with progress and wanting things to move in a certain direction, then there's ways in which you can contribute to that in your own personal life. So for example, there are certain forces that are really committed to going back in time to when women were property, to when blacks were subservient, to when people of color didn't have any equality programs, to a time when when people were not allowed to be gay in public, they were not allowed to question gender. And so at the time that this is happening, you could be the person that challenges that in your own life. You can be the person that in your own life, in whatever way you can, decides to commit yourself to destabilizing forms of oppression that currently exist in our country. So you can be an agent of revolution, of consciousness in your own life in a way that positively impacts the people around you. We don't have to wait for some group to take to the streets and start tearing things down physically to begin to tear them down mentally. It doesn't have to come to that. We can do the work. What are you tearing down and what are you rebuilding? Please tell me in the comments.